read I'm going to do for you guys for um, this channel. I made some changes to the channel. Make sure you check out the major channel change video that I did a little while ago, explaining to you that I have two channels now. This one is going to be astrology based, where I'm going to be doing astrology readings. Some of the readings I'm going to be using tarot, but it's going to be based on astrology placements, right? But this particular reading is not going to be any tarot cards at all. It's just going to be me reading the planetary alignments. And then I have another channel called Mini Styles. That link is in the box below. That's where I'm going to be doing your God and Goddesses readings, your Silent Enemies readings, your True Intentions readings. So for those of you who are familiar with those readings and you like them, make sure you go over to Mini Styles and subscribe there. Hit the notification bell. After I get done doing the astrology reads for this channel, I'm going to go right over there and I'm going to do your God and Goddesses readings. I'll probably start on those tomorrow, and I'll be doing those live. So make sure you subscribe to both channels, hit the notification bell. Again, this channel is now going to be based on astrological placements, tarot card readings, and just planetary readings, okay, in reference to your placements. So this is going to be a general read for my Aries crew. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I hope all is well with everybody. Peace and blessings to you guys. Hope you're enjoying your, it's Saturday where I'm at. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. I got 3 more readings to do after you guys. I got to do Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, but I'm not going to do those till later on tonight. So if you're checking in now and you're wondering when those are going to be posted, I'm going to do those later on tonight because I got to go outside and get some air, baby. It's beautiful out. So I'm going to rock with you guys right now, and then I'll do the other ones later on, and we'll wrap up the astrology reads for the month of August. And then after that, I'm going to go over to the mini styles readings, do the God and Goddesses, and then I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to focus on your Jupiter retrograde and Chiron retrograde readings, right? Because Jupiter and Chiron are in retrograde in your Aries house, all right? But we'll get to that. So let's talk about this. This is a general reading. Take what resonates, my friend. Leave the rest, okay? If you need a personal, my information's in the box below. Now, listen, you got 2 planetary bodies in retrograde in your first house. You got Chiron in there in retrograde, and you got Jupiter in there in retrograde. Now, for those of you who are 50 years old and older, this is your Chiron return. Your Chiron return comes around every 50 years, all right? So you're 50, 51, this is what you're experiencing, especially if you have Chiron in Aries. Now, you also have Jupiter and Aries in your first house. Now, your first house is basically how you stand your ground, how you present yourself to the world, how people see you, the way you dress, the way you communicate, how you move, the way you move, why you wear what you wear, you know, when someone's talking to you, you know, how you respond, how you conduct yourself, how you claim your space in the world, basically, right? And you got 2 planets in retrograde here. You got Chiron here, which is a planetary body that Chiron in a nutshell teaches us that, you know what, we all have wounds that we have to live with. We all have some psychological damage or physical damage that has happened to us that we have to live with. But we still got to go out here and do the best that we can. Now, an example of Chiron in retrograde as far as physicality, because you know Aries deals with the head and face. So one example that I think of is I have a friend who has Chiron in Aries, and this friend has a scar on their face. Despite the scar that my friend has on their face, they continue to move about and carry themselves with confidence. You know, they don't look at it like, oh, you know, it's the end of it's the end of me and I'm ugly now and this and that and that. No, they don't do that. They, you know, and Chiron is all about living with your scars, right? Sometimes they are physical. Sometimes they're mental because, Aries deals with the head. So it also deals with what's going on with your mental, right? So some of us may have mental disorders. You know, some of us may have physical disorders. But whatever those disorders are, or those what you would call wounds are, you know, we still got to rock on. We still got to do us. We still got to be us. We still got to be out in this world, command our respect, not let people see us wounded to the point where they think they can come and take advantage of us. So, you know, with Chiron in retrograde, you're looking at these wounds that you have and you're looking at, okay, how did this happen? What is this about? When anything is in retrograde, I like to look at it as who, what, when, where, how, and why. Because it's all about reflection of what's going on within you. And for you to find out how this is affecting you, you have to ask questions. So it's like, okay, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So it's like, who did this happen to, or who caused this, right? Why did this happen? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And how can I move forward with this so that I can continue to live my life and get the most out of it and do what the Most High has brought me here to do, right? So that's what you're dealing with the Chiron and retrograde in Aries. Now, Jupiter is in retrograde here as well. I'm going to do a reading for you guys to get in more detail with the Chiron and Jupiter in retrograde later on in the month. So just stick around for that. I'm not going to get too deep into it right now, but this is what you're dealing with because this is what, your forward facing energy to the world is, your first house. And this is what's in your first house. So Jupiter's there in retrograde as well. Now Jupiter deals with, good luck, good fortune. We know that basic stuff. But Jupiter also deals with the spiritual journey that you go on, because Jupiter is the spiritual energy. Jupiter and Neptune are both spiritual energies. Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces, which is where Neptune resides. But at any rate, Jupiter in retrograde, it makes us look at the journey that we went through, to try to get the spirituality out of it, to get the higher understanding of it, because Jupiter deals with the higher mind, the higher conscious. So when Jupiter's in retrograde, we're looking at the journeys that we went through, because Jupiter deals with experience. What did you go through to experience what you've experienced? Let's look back at that. Who, what, when, where, and why. Who, was involved in this journey? Why did it happen? Where did it happen? When did it happen? What did I get out of it? And what can I get out of it? And you're looking at this in a very Aryan way. So it's like, okay, how can I take this and move on and do what I need to do and charge through the world and be the Aryan, the fly dope Aryan that I am, right? So you're looking at those types of things, or you may be reflecting on these types of things as we go on through the month of August and even throughout the year, because these planets are going to be in retrograde until what? Jupiter's going to be in retrograde, I believe, until December. Chiron too, if I'm not mistaken. So to the end of the year, you're going to be playing with these energies and these thoughts and these ideas. So with your second house, we got Taurus there, right? Now that's where the North Node is for the collective in Taurus. But for you, it's in your second house. And how appropriate? Because Taurus rules the second house. So when we look at a stereotypical chart, your chart is most used, right? Because you are the first house. You're the baby of the zodiac. You're where everything begins. So in your second house, we have the North Node there. We have Uranus there. Now Uranus is going in retrograde on the 24th of this month. So later in the month, I'm going to do a detailed reading for you specifically about Uranus in your second house. But we'll touch on it a little bit here. We also have Mars in your second house right now. Mars is about to be out, though, and go into Gemini on the 20th. But it's still here right now, so you're still dealing with those energies. So let's talk about Uranus here with the North Node. I'm sure if you've been watching readings, astrology readings, as well as tarot card readings, those who tap into or talk about the North Node energy and Uranus energy, you get seeing a lot of readings and things on that. But Uranus is usually the planet that talks about the rebelliousness in you, rebelling against, things that don't make sense to you. The energies of the fact that you are a unique individual and you use those unique individual skills that you have to be you. You're not apologetic about it at all. You're actually unapologetic about it. You rebel against what other people say is not for you. So sometimes it comes off as rebelliousness. That's why Uranus comes off as rebellion, because people may expect you to be a certain way, and when you don't conform to that, that's what people feel like is being rebellious, or you're being a renegade or something like that. But that's not what it is, but that's just how it comes off across to others. But that has a lot to do with your self-esteem, your self-worth. You're going to rebel against things that don't resonate with you. That's just how the Aries energy is. And so it's in your second house. And you being unique and individual to you is a direct reflection of your self-esteem. Your self-esteem and your self-worth is a direct reflection of your money-making potential. So the better you feel about yourself, the more money-making potential you have, right? So when you got Uranus here, Uranus is putting you in a position where, some of you may want to tap into the sciences, astrology, cosmology, chemistry, nanotechnology, biology. Some of you may have a knack for the sciences, and so you may tap into that to make your money. Others of you, whatever unique, individual, quirky type of way that you feel about yourself that puts you above the rest or puts you out there is what you're going to be able to use to make money for you. Some of you, an internet platform, because Uranus deals with the internet and it deals with technology and sciences. So you showcasing your talent and yourself on the internet for a lot of you is how you're going to make your killing, baby. All right, because we're dealing with the House of Taurus and how you make your money. So some of you, that might be, your money might be kicking right now because you got Mars there. Mars accelerates everything. Mars is also an energy that it wants to fight, it wants to defend, it wants to stand its ground, and it also wants to be strategic in how it does it, and it wants to get the shit done now. So for some of you, you could be revamping what you're doing as far as how you make your money. Okay, and you could be seeing the results of that quickly, or you could be doing a quick revamp so that things go in your favor. All right, but Mars is going to be moving into your third house on the 20th of August. So your third house has to do with your lifestyle choices, the things that you like to do, why you like to do these things, how you express yourself. It also deals with your siblings, also deals with your cousins, okay, your cousin in them, all right, deals with that. How you express yourself as far as, the way you've learned to express yourself, the way you've learned to process the things around you, also your childhood environment. So with Mars going in there, Mars, like I said, Mars wants to defend, it wants to fight, it wants to battle, it wants to stand its ground. So you could be in a situation, some of you, this could be you, having tension between you and some family members, maybe siblings, maybe cousins. You could be having some tension in reference to the lifestyle choices that you have. Maybe you need to, maybe you're in environments where your temper flares, right? Or you're around people who don't accept or respect your lifestyle choices. And as a result, you may feel like you have to defend yourself or stand your ground to these people. Okay, just be careful that you don't get yourself into, any physical altercations or things don't, exacerbate to that level. You don't need that in life. We all trying to be out here and function, right? And you don't need the unnecessary drama. So learn to pick and choose your battles when it comes to your lifestyle choices, the things that you dabble in, the things you don't dabble in. If you see it's not right for you, of course you're going to stand your ground. That's what Aries does, right? But also be careful not to force yourself on others, not to force your lifestyle choices and things onto people that may not be vibing with it. If they vibe naturally, cool. If they don't, give them their space and let them do their thing, right? So those are some of the things you might be dealing with when it comes to your lifestyle choices and the things you like to do for fun in your social life, how you socialize. Now, your fourth house is where Cancer is. We don't have any major planets there, so I'm not going to touch much on that. But when we go to your fifth house, the house of fun, the house of your inner child, here I am with my notes. I drew a little chart. So that's what you see, flapping, me holding it. So your fifth house, that's where the house of your inner child is. This is the house of children. It's the house of what makes you, what builds that fire in you, that creative energy in you, what makes you unique. What unique energies do you bring to the world? What unique energies are spotlighted on you? That's what I think of when I think of Leo as the center of attention. It's like you have a unique energy, a unique style to you. And what is that style that makes you the center of attention, that makes you stand out? And this is where the new moon in Leo is going to be, because we in Leo season, right? Your fellow fire sign. We're in Leo season. So this energy is really magnetizing your fifth house, the house of fun, the things you like to do for fun. Also, this is the house of, your love affairs, your situation, love affairs that don't last long, your situationships, your one night stands, your flings, but this is also the house of romance. So when you fall for people in this house, you can fall hard for them. You know what I'm saying? So with the new moon there and the Lionsgate portal both happening on the 8th, this is opening up some energy in the heavens that we're normally not subjected to. In the nutshell, like a quick and dirty version of it, is the planetary body. Well, it's a star. The Sirius star is like twice as big, like not even twice as big. It's colossal to the sun. And we look at the sun as like one of the largest planetary bodies, or one of the largest planetary bodies, but one of the brightest for certain in our immediate galaxy. Well, Ceres is like 1,000 times brighter, 1,000 times larger. And the way it's going to be aligned with the sun and the earth is going to be in a way that's going to open up the heavens, where it's going to allow you to tap into the higher realms a lot more easier, to tap into that unique creative energy within you, by way of the heavenly bodies and your ancestors and your guides. So you'll be able to tap into galactical connections more so, and get advice and get wisdom and get understanding that you need, so that you're able to tap more into that unique energy that makes you you and allows you to stand out and benefit. All right, so that's just in a nutshell of what that is. I don't want to get too deep into it, but if you're familiar with the Lionsgate portal, if you're not, then you may want to do a little research on that and see how you can benefit from that. All right, but basically what's going on is the spotlight is definitely going to be on you. People are going to be very attracted to you and your unique energy and who you are and what you bring to the table, right? So that might help you with your second house energy in reference to how you make money, especially if you're doing it on the internet with Uranus. I feel like things are going to take off for you if you're doing anything online. Some of you are establishing channels, or you're establishing multiple channels, but you're going to do well with them, especially with the North Node in Taurus, where your financial stability, your comfortability level, you're going to be able to indulge in the finer things in life, because you're going to be making more money, which is going to put you in a position where you're going to be at peace. And this is a great way for you to express yourself, right? So this is dope energy. But also Venus is in Leo on the 11th. Right, I'm recording this on the 6th. So Venus is going to be in the house of Leo on the 11th. So it's really going to be about love. Some of you may be connecting with people in a romantic way. But just be careful that you know where you stand in these relationships. Just make sure you know if it's a fling and that's what it is. And self-value is important when it comes to Venus, and self-worth, especially when we're talking about the house of Leo, where we're talking about the house of fun and being in relationships that are fun. For those of you who are already in relationships, your relationship might be a little bit more lively, or you guys might be a little bit more playful towards each other, more romantic, more sexual, because of Venus and because of the childlike energy of Leo. So this might be a great way for you to revamp your relationship if things have been a little stale, which I doubt that with you, Aries. But anyway, you may want to try something new, or your partner may be open to trying new things, right, in the relationship sector. Or you might be, if you're single, you might just be into, or people that you've never been really attracted to before might be into you now. So this is a great place for you to tap in as far as energy. If you want to meet people, you want to date or connect and make friends, or just do things that you really want to do to have fun, whatever it is that you want to have fun doing. Some of you may feel like, I need a vacation, I need to take a break. Leo rules vacation. Some of you may feel like, I want to go to the casino, hit up, see if I can win some money. That's what Leo rules as well, quick money, right? But again, to me, that taps into your second house as well. Your second and fifth house have to do with money, right? Quick money, long-term money, stability. So money is going to be a major benefit for you. I feel like you're going to be able to tap in, especially when you use that Leo new moon and Lionsgate portal energy, right? The sixth house, that's where Mercury is for you. Mercury is in Virgo. It was there since the 4th of this month. So your sixth house has to do with your routines, the things you do on a daily basis, what time you get up, what do you do when you get up, what time you got to be to work if you work, if you work for yourself, when do you begin working? Like, do you have a pattern? Is it every day at 8 a.m. or whatever it is that you do on a regular basis regularly is what your patterns and your routines are. It also deals with your health, right? It also deals with your discipline, like your intestinal fortitude is what I like to call it as well. Your patterns at work, your habits and routines at work. Also your pets, okay? So with Mercury there, some of you could be thinking about getting a pet, but you might be thinking about, okay, how much am I going to have to clean up? How much is this going to cost? Some of you may already have a pet. You may have to take your pet to the doctor. All right, let me see what we're going to do here, because Virgo deals with health, and again, this has to do with your pets too. So some of you, you may be doing things to take better care of your pets. Maybe you're considering Something like, okay, I got a dog. Let me look at the dog food I'm feeding my dog. I want my dog to be healthy. So maybe I need to switch food. Maybe my dog's getting too fat. So maybe I need to buy a different type of dog food. Little simple things like that. But it could also be you looking at the routines and the patterns that you have in reference to your health and figuring out what you may want to do to better that. If what you're doing is currently working, why you're doing what you're doing. All right. Some of you may need, you may be thinking about how disciplined or lack of discipline you have in this area of life. It's like, yo, I started working out, but I know when I start working out, I'll get into it for about a month and then I'll start slacking. Some of you might be starting to look at, okay, why do I slack after a month? Is it because I'm bored? Well, maybe I need to, know that after 30 days, I might need to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? A different type of exercise. So maybe I go to the gym for 30 days and I get bored with that after 30 days. Well, the next thing I need to do is maybe I need to go rock climbing and do that so that I can keep up my health regime, but yet I don't get bored with the same sedentary bullshit, right? So things like that you might be thinking about, right? But just basically analyzing your patterns and your routines that you partake in every day, and if it's beneficial to you or not, looking at it with a microscope, right? So your seventh house is Libra. You don't have any major planets going on there, so there's not really too much majorly affecting that. If you want to get into it more in depth, you look at the opposite polarity, which is your first house. So Jupiter retrograde and Chiron retrograde are opposing that. So there could be some relationship concerns in reference to how you deal with others, how others see you, and how they deal with you, right? Um, but like I said, there's no major planets there right now in the seventh house. So when we go to your eighth house, that's where the south node of Scorpio is. All right. So Scorpio, we know that that's transformative energies, right? But when we look at the south node, we know the south node is energies that represent the energies that we've mastered in the past life, the lessons we learned or mastered in the past life and or your childhood, because your childhood is a form of your past life in this life, right? So the knowledge and the lessons that you learned with the scorpionic energies, you're taking those energies and you're using them to help you to master the energies that are unknown, which is your north node energy. You haven't mastered those yet. So you're using the scorpionic energies to protect you while you learn to maneuver in the Taurus energies, which is the opposite polarity, your north node, because the goal is to go from toxic energy of the Scorpio energy to a very peaceful energy, which is the Taurus energy. Now, I like to tell people this about the Scorpio energy because I got a lot of Scorpio placement and I feel like I've evolved enough in it to understand it. Scorpio only becomes toxic when you, number one, don't acknowledge it. Number two, don't accept the fact that there's always going to be change in that area of your life. As long as you understand that there's going to be change in that area of life, it doesn't make it easier to deal with, but it puts you in a position where okay, change is coming. Let me just brace for it, or let me embrace it in the best way that I can, because it's coming regardless. Scorpio energy only becomes toxic when you don't accept the change that's coming. Change is coming, right? It's death and rebirth. So when you try to fight it, that's when shit becomes toxic. It's just like, think about the caterpillar going into the cocoon and then becoming a butterfly. The caterpillar goes if he's fighting going into cocoon, all kinds of unnatural shit's gonna happen to it, right? Unhealthy, unnatural shit. Because the natural thing is for it to progress and to go into the cocoon. Same thing with it coming out of the cocoon. If it doesn't come out of the cocoon at the time it's supposed to, all kinds of unhealthy, unnatural, toxic shit is gonna happen. Right? And so instead of fighting that change, know that, okay, yeah, I gotta go in this cocoon. Let me just embrace it. I'm not gonna like it, but I know I have to do this. Do your best to embrace it and accept the change. It may be something beneficial to you. Try to look at the positive in the change and let go of the things that you no longer need, and that'll help you to metamorph a little bit better, right? So that's what you're doing with your eighth house, because that's where your psyche is. That's where you battle with the internal shit that goes on within you. Why don't I want to let this go? Why am I holding on to this? This also deals with the toxic ties that you create with other people, right? Why am I allowing this toxic connection to still occur? It could be sometimes that you slept with this person, you created a soul tie. So now you're kind of connected and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I untie this? How do I get out of this? Or it could be unhealthy attachments to other types of energy. The Scorpio energy is your energy and the power struggle between your energy and something else. and what happens when it merges. All right. So that's some of the things you might be thinking about, and you're trying to get out of that toxic energy to go towards the peaceful Taurus energy. All right. Since this is your eighth and your second houses, we dealing with money too. Okay. So how to come out of a financially depressed environment, or to keep yourself out of a financially depressed environment, to go to one where you are living in financial comfortability, where you're able to experience the indulgences in life and the finer things in life, so to speak. Right. So moving on to your ninth house, this is where Sag is. You don't have any planets there right now, but you do have Virgo in the opposite polarity, which is the third house. We talked about that. Your 10th house is where Pluto is. Pluto's in retrograde in Cap City, Capricorn, aka, right? So, this is your 10th house is your house of your career achievements, your professional endeavors, the things that you go about doing in order to establish yourself in a career, right? This also is the house of the reputation that you establish for yourself with others and how you see yourself. This house also has to do with your moral and ethical compass. It's like, okay, I'm not willing to do that, but I am willing to do that. No, that's not right, but this is. And so it's the internal rules you set. You know, you have societal rules that you have to follow, but you also have internal rules that you set for yourself, right? And so the 10th house of Capricorn deals with that. And the energies come out in a very Capricornian way, which is restriction. What am I going to indulge in? What I'm not going to indulge in? Where is the ledge? Stop here, right? And taking that cardinal energy of Capricorn and making the moves to stop something or start something or end something or place restraint on something, right? So with Pluto there in retrograde, Pluto is a planet of intensity. It's a planet of power struggles. So some of you could be going through, with Pluto in retrograde, you could be going through a transformative energy in reference to your career. Maybe you're having difficulty reinventing yourself in your professional achievements and your career endeavors. So you could be trying to figure out, what is it that I truly enjoy making money doing, right? What is it that I see myself going? Like, some of you may consider, okay, do I want to go back to school for a particular occupation or career, or do I want to do something different? I'm currently in school. Is this shit working for me, or is it not? I'm currently in this profession. Does it work for me, or does it not? Do I want to reinvent myself in this career, or do I want to kill this career altogether and do something totally different? And how will people see me in reference to that? Or this is how I want people to see me, so I'm going to reinvent myself, right? So Pluto got you in the lab thinking about how you can go about metamorphing in a way that's beneficial for you. Like I was telling you, with that caterpillar going into the cocoon, coming out as a butterfly. Well, with Pluto in retrograde, you're looking at, okay, why can't I metamorph? What's keeping me from going into the cocoon, or what's keeping me from coming out of the cocoon, right? In reference to career, professional achievements, and your reputation. So those are some things you might be thinking about in reference to that. Now we go into your 11th house, where that deals with your social life. That deals with your friends, how popular you are, what place you hold in your group of friends, right? Maybe you're the funny one, or maybe you're the wild one, or maybe you're the unique one, right? The position you hold in whatever organization or group that you're in. Maybe you're the secretary of your organization. Maybe you're the headmaster of whatever it is that you're involved with, right? But this also deals with humanitarian efforts as well. So Saturn is here in retrograde. Now, Saturn is a planet of restrictions. It's a planet of law. It's a planet of rules and regulation. And so when it's in retrograde, we're asking again, who, what, when, where, why. What kind of rules are they? Why are they there? Are they working? Is this benefiting me? Do I need to end something? Because Saturn deals with time. Saturn in retrograde lets us know, okay, something, we may need to end something. The time is up for this. Like, when you graduate from junior high and you go into high school. When Saturn's in retrograde, you might be like, damn, I don't want to leave junior high. I got all my friends there, la, 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 woo, woo, woo. And if you try to go back, you're going to look foolish, right? So Saturn is you reminiscing about these things and enjoying what it was when it was, but now knowing that it's time for you to move on. So with Saturn retrograde, you're looking at moving on from some of these friendships or some of these groups or organizations that you're in. For some of you, this could also have to do with your internet settings as well, or your internet channels, or some of the people that you watch on the internet. Maybe you've outgrown these particular channels that you subscribe to, and you're like looking at it like, did I get anything out of it? And I'm not. Let me move on to somebody else. I've outgrown this, and let me move on. Things like that. Some of you may have a channel and you're like, yo, I've outgrown this channel. Let me do something different. Or I can't do everything I want to do on this channel. Maybe I got to open up another one, or another platform, an online platform, things like that. Your 12th house. This is the house of your subconscious and unconscious energy. This is 90% of the energy that you give out to the collective, and you don't even realize it. A lot of us don't even realize it. This is what draws people to us. Sometimes we realize it, sometimes we don't. Most times we don't. But this is the frequencies that you give off, the vibrations that you give off, that attract people to you. And so we got Neptune there. Neptune's in Pisces. We're dealing with the 12th house. So, the 12th house is so many things. But Neptune in retrograde. First of all, Neptune is the planet of your spiritual higher self, right? And so when we're dealing with your spiritual highest self, we're also dealing with the opposite energies, your demonic lowest self, right? And so we're dealing with that in the house of the unconscious or subconscious energy. So this is where, you tap into your higher self and you say, you know what, this is what I need to do. What do I need to do to go on my path to be the best person that I can be? I feel like this is the house that handles that. And when Neptune is in retrograde, you're looking at, okay, the things that I'm doing and how I'm doing it, is it subconsciously taking me where I need to go, or are these actions subconsciously taking me to a place of self-pity, self-loathing? Because that's what Neptune in retrograde deals with, the hell, the heaven and the hell. That's how I look at Neptune. Neptune in retrograde could be the hell that you have to deal with as far as the karma that you put out, right? Or the hell that people around you are being subjected to because of what they try to do to you, right? So that's an energy that you may be experiencing. Also, you got to pay attention to your dreams, because with Neptune in retrograde in your 12th house, that is the house of the dream state. So you're going to be getting a lot of downloads, whether it's you daydreaming or you going to sleep. Getting a lot of downloads in reference to things that you cannot see in the physical plane, but on a spiritual level, your ancestors are dropping jewels on you in reference to how to maneuver and what to do. I think you should also use this energy with the Lionsgate portal energy and the Leo new moon energy, with the portal opening up to tap into the heavens. I really feel like, after the 8th, or even right now, up until the Lionsgate portal ends, you really should be paying attention to your dreams, really tapping into that energy, because it's going to be speaking to you. People don't realize how spiritual Aries energy is. Like, you're the beginning of everything. So how spiritual is that? Like, it is, there's just no denying it. And so when we look at the beginning, we also look at the end. And so that's where we are with the 12th house, looking at the ending of things, right? And so for you to, I feel like this is basically you flushing out, and acquiring the karma that you have accumulated on your journey to up until this point. And so Neptune in retrograde is a reflection of, okay, well, let's see what we've accumulated. Let's see what we've done. Let's pull the illusionary wool off of our eyes, or let's get rid of the rose-colored glasses and see what's popping. Also, I did a reading. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I did a reading for you for Neptune in retrograde. So make sure you go to the Aries 2022 channel and check that out. And it talks about that there. All right. So in a nutshell, I feel like these are the energies that you're going to be dealing with for the month of August. It may not resonate 100% right now, and it probably never will 100%, but more of it may resonate with you at the end of the month. So come back and check this out at the end of the month. That's what I recommend you do with all monthly videos, no matter who you watch, because you have to actually live through the month, right? And then you can go back and say, oh, okay, that did resonate. I did deal with something similar to that. Right? So do that at the end of the month. Come back, check this out, see if it resonates with you. Also check out your other placements, because on this channel, we're spiritually evolved. We know we're not just Aries. We have every other planet in our chart. Every other sign in our chart, whether we have planets there or not. And they all play a part in the intricate being that you are. So you want to check those out and find out what's going on in other areas of your life to put two and two together. especially now when you got Neptune in retrograde in your 12th house. Pay attention to your dreams and things. Paying attention to the other placements in your chart may help you to put the pieces together so that you can figure out, what your dreams are trying to tell you. All right. So don't forget to subscribe to the other channel, which is Mini Styles. The link is in the box below. All right. And thank you for checking out the video. If you need a personal, my information is in the box below. I love you guys and I wish you the best. Take care, Aries.